There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo!
Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table has set sail with its destination towards the Grand Line. But before we get into the Grand Line, we got one more arc to cover. That's right, folks. This week on our One Piece Chronicles voyage, we are covering Arlong Park, the last arc in the East Blue Saga, and debatably the best arc in the East Blue Saga. But we are here to deep dive it, really get into the nitty gritty on what Arlong Park is all about. But with me, as always, is fellow Yonkō, GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, I see you have the money pose when they're in the background when they're ready to storm Arlong Park.
Yes, I chose this image versus the actual walking because I just feel this was a really nice shot where it pans out and they were waiting there the whole time too, just waiting for Luffy's, like, what's the word, Captain? And then he's like, Ikuzo, and they're like, right. And then, yeah, and I just like how all three of them are also posing very differently, and it fits all their characters, honestly. So yeah, this money shot I think definitely defines the, I guess, epicness of this arc. This arc is a lot of fun, a lot of great moments, a lot of establishing moments for the series moving forward, and yeah, it's definitely the best arc I think in East Blue. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. And with us as well to deep dive this is fellow Supernovas to join in this voyage. And let's go into it. Do we want to give, before we go deep, do we want to give a special shout out to our Supernova birthday boy? Nino?
Hey, it's Nino. That's Blazzado's birthday. Nino, thank you for joining us here on your birthday.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
All right. Let's get into it. Arlong Park. What did you guys overall think about Arlong Park? For me, this was the first arc that I read from beginning to end of One Piece. I got into One Piece in the middle of Barate, as you all know. And I enjoyed Barate, from the part that I started from, which I think was Sanji's flashback. That was like where I really started One Piece. But Arlong Park was the first arc ever of One Piece I was able to see from beginning all the way to the end. Made me a fan of One Piece. This is what made me committed. And this is usually the arc, and I know some people might recommend different things, but this is usually the arc people will tell others that are trying to get into One Piece, get at least to Arlong Park. If you get to Arlong Park and you're still not satisfied, then One Piece is probably not your.
That is not
anime.
what you told me. That is not what you told me when I started. To be record for everyone listening at home, they told me, Kenneth, you cannot have. Oh, I said my name. Nino, you cannot have an opinion on One Piece until you get to what do you call it? To a very specific scene with Luffy screaming to burn a flag down.
That was not me. That was not me.
That was
That
exactly
was-
you, Dr. J.
No,
You said
that
you can.
was-
You said
no, 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 no.
exactly after you said. Okay, Kenneth. Now, oh damn. Okay, Nino. Now that you got to this scene, now you can choose to either leave One Piece where it belongs or keep going. That's exactly what you told me.
I am telling you right now, I know exactly who it was that said that, and that was Admiral Hooper TV that recommended. And I remember saying, you want someone getting into One Piece to commit all the way to Eni's lobby? That's how many chapters is that? That's like 100, 200 chapters? Easily.
I don't know chapter count, but there's like 300
chapters.
episodes.
Yeah,
That
that's
and
like 300 chapters.
right. So I for one would never have recommended Enies Lobby all the way. Arlong Park I think
But
is a
then you
safe
did.
bet. I
That's how I remember it.
no.
Well, better question. Were you hooked by Arlong Park?
What was your take?
I was
Neil?
hooked
Arlong.
by Syrup Village, but
Okay.
That's
all
right.
Park.
That's right. I remember.
but Arlong Park was definitely the culmination of everything that the East Blue was building up to. You know, I think this is what Oda does so well is he lets things linger, and he's just like, ooh, some things that will be addressed later. And in East Blue, he's kind of speed running, like getting the crew together and then confronting all their, what do you call it?
They're demons.
All their
Backstories.
all their backstories, all their conflicts and stuff. But and you can definitely see that in later arcs, because look at like a character, like a future character like Robin, whose character arc went from the beginning of the Grand Line all the way to like halfway in the Grand Line, or at least Paradise. And in the East Blue, Nami's character arc only starts in Orange Town to where Arlong Park ends. But this is definitely probably the best arc in East Blue, and it really makes you want to. I honestly, I thought after this arc, I was like, okay, so they're gonna go around all to the other, what do you call it, seas. They're gonna go to the North Blue, the West Blue, and then get everyone, then go to the Grand Line. That's where I thought that this was going, and then they were like, nope, we're just going straight into what we said we were gonna do, and I feel like this sets it up really well in that sense.
Grandmaster, what about you? Your take? Well, I think you said it earlier. You really liked Arlong Park.
Well, I'll just add on that my One Piece origins begin with 4Kids TV.
Unfortunately.
But I mean,
for better or worse, it had its moments. Back
then, I was not understanding of this was a dumbed down, edited version, a G-rated version of what we are owed. But with that said, funny enough, I'm still hooked. I'm buying into the story. I'm here for the action sequences. Because they don't hold back on the action. They just hold back on the violence, if that makes sense. No blood, and sometimes they take out a knife.
Still a fight.
Right. No, so I'm still very much intrigued, and I'm still very much hooked. But I have to say, for this podcast, I have rewatched Arlong Park in Funimation, but I will be a lot talking about the 4Kids perspective, which is funny when you line them up side by side. But yeah, I'm ready to go ahead and add that. I feel Nino's got the newer perspective. Dr. Jace, you have the manga perspective, and I have the worst perspective, but it's perspective nonetheless.
I think 4Kids is a unique perspective.
That's a word for it.
Exactly, right? But so what? This arc picks up immediately after the last one with Sanji on the Biriti restaurant on the ocean, and Sanji joins as chef. And even before reaching the island, I think Sanji starts getting his cook on the ship, even before we kick off Arlong Park. So I thought that was cool.
Right?
In the dinghy, exactly, because Nami stole the merry-go.
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing else. But so I don't know. I guess this being my first, I don't know what portions you would call this, but like the in-between portions in between each arc, right? Like you have the arc, it ends, then you have like the transitional phase, I guess. This was my first transitional phase with One Piece. Now this is the calm before the next arc, and I got to see how these characters act in their downtime, and it was cool. I like seeing Sanji cook. It was awesome.
I really miss that in current chapters. I really miss those moments, and
the quiet.
I feel like they do it so well at the beginning.
Right.
Like, and it was just so cool to see like that Luffy made a good choice with his cook, and Sanji's just like, yeah, I can make literally anything work, and Luffy just loves the food. These are very important like things that it's funny how like even the little slight interactions that Oda puts them, like just them in a dinghy just hanging out, has like really big impactful, you know, thematic consequence later on in the story. It's just crazy to me that we're like 1,051 chapters in, and like stuff that that was brought up in the East Blue just as a side conversation is so integral to these characters, and that's why, you know, I think it's just so good. It's so good.
It's a great investment. I mean, don't we also see like some butting of heads between Zoro? Or no, Zoro's not. Is Zoro on the ship right here?
No,
No,
see,
he's
that's what I
not.
was about to
Okay,
get at. This
I
arc,
forgot.
this arc flows right into the next arc. Zoro, Usopp, and I believe Johnny went ahead to go catch
Right.
up with Nami after the fight with Mihawk. So this transitional piece that you're talking about, that's Luffy playing catch up. And I think actually when you go back and read it and watch it, some events have already transpired at Goza Village, which is Nami's village,
Right.
along with Arlong Park. And then we're trying to, you know, play catch up and put the pieces together ourselves.
Oh my god, wait, now that I think about it, isn't it, oh god, it's just connecting certain aspects of these two arcs with the arc that is going on right now. Because when you think about it, at the beginning of the current arc right now,
Yes, you could say it, Wano. We're not going into detail,
yeah.
but there, I think I see where you're going with this parallel.
yeah, and it's just very interesting to see how Arlong Park kind of sets up some of these you know, some of these parallels and some of these things that just ring true, like Luffy and Sanji having to play catch up while the rest of the crew is already at a certain place, already having to decide what to do.
Right. And
Very interesting.
It's cool to see too, because, you know, in retrospect, this is such a small scale to what we're going to see later on. And, you know, obviously who they're up against, the stakes are much bigger. So, but yeah, it's the quiet time, the downtime. In most recent arcs, it's really fast paced. They don't really got time, like a quiet hour of peace and relaxation. You gotta get going.
I miss these. And just to put into perspective, because I did want to look it up, Arlong Park is manga chapters 69 through 95, which is crazy. We're 1,000 chapters later, and we're still feeling the implications, like what Nino was saying earlier, like interactions with characters 1,000 chapters ago. And for our anime viewers, that's episodes 31 through 44 for Arlong Park.
40, only 44?
Only
30?
44.
30?
31.
Wow.
Yep. 14
Jeez.
episodes.
Thinking about
I remember when I was first watching this, I was like, these arcs are so long. Like, and I was like,
spoiled.
so much happens.
And now look what we got.
I was a fool.
We got 100 episodes.
I was a fool.
All right, yeah.
Which is it's insane too, because like, you know, these arcs all the way up until this point, they've been slowly getting a little bit longer with each subsequent one. Arlong Park in the manga is 27 chapters. And looking back, yes, 27 chapters. Remember, this is everything from like, you know, I think it includes like the transitional period and also the very end, like, you know, post recovery after the final battle and all that stuff. So it's including everything.
Fair enough.
But I mean, now we get One Piece arcs that are like 100 chapters easily now. But I don't know. There was something simplistic about these chapters back then when they were, these arcs back then when they were kind of short and still told a gripping story. Probably, I think what people really like about Arlong Park for the East Blue so far is Nami as its center character. Yeah. Nami, at this point, people could argue Nami's probably the best character right now, in like up until Arlong Park.
Wait, you're
What,
saying
you don't
people
think
liked her
Usopp is the
before?
best character up to this point?
In terms of if we're
Whoa.
judging on emotional backstory, Nami easily
Oh,
had the most gripping arc out of anyone so far, up until Arlong Park.
well, no. What I'm trying to just clarify. I feel Nami was very one note in the beginning. Oh, I like treasure.
Oh, right,
Uh,
in the beginning.
Right. And then now this arc actually gives you some depth and some character. And now you
reason as
really
to
feel
why.
for Nami. Yeah. Is
And-
that what you're saying? Are you saying they
Right.
they didn't like her until this point? Or
No,
leaving here, they love her now?
As in, from my understanding, once people caught up to this arc, a lot of people said, wow, Nami is like the best character so far, just because they expanded on like little things that you just mentioned right now. Before, we thought she was a one note character. Oh, she likes treasure, she's very greedy, she steals from pirates and all that stuff. They expand with the most heartbreaking story as to why Nami is like that, though.
Yep.
And I think it's great. I mean, it was sad, man. And come on, that scene right behind you where they're like Ikuzo, right before that. That
It's
was
very
like,
impactful. Yes, it's
very.
it culminates
Arlo.
very well.
Arlong.
Oh gosh. Yes, it's very emotional. It's very good. Should we talk about it first and then
Let's
catch
talk
up with the
about it.
Yeah,
present?
let's do it.
Yes.
So what? She's just from Goza Village. Oh, she's not from Goza Village. What? She's her and Nojiko, her sister, her adopted sister. I don't know. Why are you giving me that look?
Because you never know. These are
What do
very
we
important-
know? You never
We
know.
only know that she was found in the middle of a war. You know what this sounds like? She's gonna be of a royal lineage.
Oh,
She's the
God.
daughter of Big Mom.
They're
Calling
not
it
gonna
now.
do that twice or whatever. No.
Daughter
Either
of Big
way.
Mom. Daughter Big
If
Mom.
Nami's the daughter of Big
crazy.
Mom, I will literally. I don't know what I'd do.
Who's Big
I
Mom?
That's why she could control Prometheus and Zeus.
Hell no,
Bam.
absolutely not.
Bam.
No, you're getting way too ahead of yourself. No way.
Watch it tie back. Watch.
No
Watch.
way. You're insane. But logically speaking, she has 43 husbands. What's one more or two?
Who's to say? Who's to say?
Maybe she could have lost count. Either way, so what? They're found in the middle of a war and they're adopted by tooth to the nail, hardcore badass Belmere. And she's just what, a good mother? No, she's just a former Navy, former Marine.
Former
She was
Navy.
former Marine, yeah,
Mhm.
captain,
And
right?
here,
I think so. She was ranked up there.
Yeah.
She had like one of the
Captain.
jackets, I think.
She did have a
Yeah.
jacket, right? And we previously talked about, kind of like we got good Marines, we got bad Marines. Belmere is definitely an example of a, someone who's actually using that power for good and whatnot. And then she's just, raising these two girls as her daughters. And here come the big bad Arlong pirates, which I think opens many doors into One Piece lore. They're the first other race outside of humans that we meet.
They are. Yeah, they are. Which I mean,
Also-
if you want to judge body proportions as another race, like the previous characters that we gotten before, like I don't know, Pearl, whatever his name is.
Pearl's a human.
He's a human, but like, look at his torso. It's so big.
Oh, he's
It's
not.
like,
He's a human.
yes, I know. You're right. Yes, Arlong is the first of the the fisherman pirates that we
Mhm.
get to see. New race, expansion of lore, and then it does raise the question, what other species or races are there in the realm of One Piece? I think Oda did a good job with the fishermen early on, like at least seeing where knowing where Arlong came from, like later on in the story, it puts things into perspective of like how small fry things were really in the beginning.
Yeah, and it complicates things. It complicates a lot of the, a lot of what we take. But I don't want to talk about it now. I think that's a discussion for like Saboti probably.
I don't
Because
know.
right
I
now
mean,
Okay.
you
I think
can-
I know
you
what you're
can-
talking about.
I feel I know what you're getting into too, but I mean, as far as there's a race or a class of people who look down on everybody, but these fishmen were the first. I mean, talking thematically, I mean, they had a superiority complex. They came into
Yeah,
that
they
village.
did.
I think
Right.
at this point in the story, that element of like them being superior was at the forefront. I think they explore what Nino is getting at, like where he mentioned it, and Saboti.
Later on.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
later
They
on.
Right.
they expand that greatly there, like for
Right.
sure. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know these fishermen's backstory, which is crazy that
They just show up.
they
they're
just
like-
they just
It
show
shows-
up.
And
Hey, we're here.
I think a more I think the conversation is like, especially early on, is that these fishermen like really looked cool. Like they were very interesting to look at. They were very interesting because they were different fish. They weren't all the same fish,
Yes.
and they posed a definite threat. And it was just Oda being like, here's a little taste of what you can expect later on in the story. He's like the great, this, and I think he's mentioned it, that the East Blue was like the most peaceful,
It
Oh,
was.
So
for sure.
there was,
It is.
this was just very much a little taste of what was to come. And I have a question. I don't know if anyone knows it off the top of their heads. What were the Arlong Park pirates called?
They're the Arlong pirates.
Yeah, I think it was just
The
his
Arlong
name.
pirates.
But
Yeah.
with
Okay.
I had to look this up too, because I kind of forgot some of the backstory or what was mentioned in this arc. They did mention they were with Jinbei. Jinbei is name dropped
They
here for
did?
the first time. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because,
that complicates things. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't.
that's crazy.
It opens the door. So
Yeah.
first he's mentioned. They're talking about who's Arlong, and I think it's Johnny or Yusaku, and they're like, "Oh, Arlong, he's this big bad fishman. He used to be with one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Jinbei, the whale shark." And then I think that's when all One Piece fans are like, "Oh, a hawk, a whale shark, they're all animal based."
Oh, okay. Right,
Yeah.
right. That was
Mhm.
when, I mean, it's so, oh man,
Doflamingo. Oh my God! Wait a minute.
They're all animal based.
Oh shit!
Gecko,
What the-
Gecko Moria. Oh,
What are you doing? They're all. Hello?
No way.
Bartholomew Kuma. That one's tough. He's a bear.
He
Right,
is a
Paul-
right,
bear.
right,
Paul
He
right.
literally
Farouk.
looks like a bear.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And
Yeah,
then
the
Boa
OG.
Hancock. Boa Hancock.
Boa Hancock.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, come on. You're kidding.
No,
me.
don't you dare.
Doflamingo,
Don't you
Oh,
dare. Don't you dare.
dare.
I know you are not one of those
Jinbei.
fans where it's like, it's so
No,
obvious
it's so
that
blatant.
they're
It's,
animals.
and that's why when you add fools like Buggy D Clown, I'm like, okay, it's out the window.
Okay, right. When they started getting new members, that's where
Yes.
the
Like the
Trafalgar Law.
original 7 at the beginning of the story were, but that's just it goes to show you that's like an added flavor touch, because when you what do you
Yeah,
call
it
it?
was cool. I liked it.
Oda built these characters so well that you care about them as characters first. Like when you think about going back, like trying to refocus it on this arc. When you think about Arlong and Nami, you don't think about Arlong as, oh, he's like this, he's the one that has the sword for a
The
nose,
sawtooth blade. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, you think of him as this oppressive big guy who does not like people. He's a character that is like just vile and disgusting, and will more than likely like kill people if he gets what he wants, and manipulate people to get what he wants. That's what you remember of this guy, not that he was just Fishman B archetype body with with a different nose, And
Right.
I think that's what Oda does so well here, especially because like and some of the Arlong pirates really suffer from that, but like him and Hachi were some of the standouts.
Ooh,
and
Hachi.
Oh, Hachi. I mean, Hachi is a character we'll see again in a new light. But Arlong, I mean,
he's
are you
definitely
thinking
like the lovable dumb sort in this arc.
well, specifically in the beginning, he freaking helps Zoro get to someone. I'm
Right,
pretty sure.
without knowing. Yeah.
Yes. Right. And he takes it
That's
personally.
funny.
He's like, "Oh, you played me for a fool." Um, but I think
Yeah.
what you're saying too, though, about what you remember about Arlong, and I think this is credit to Oda and the writing. I feel nobody's. I mean, this is true. I think nobody's born evil. You're kind of just molded or made. And we will learn later more about why Arlong has this outlook on life. And, and also too, this is not a universal fishman ideal,
Right.
it's varied, it's layered, it's
Like an
interesting.
onion, you could
Like
say.
an onion. But he's here. He has this complex for whatever reason. And he immediately threatens all these okay. Talking about, East Blue being the most peaceful. This is why Arlong's here. He's here to conquer the easiest part of the ocean, which is the East Blue.
Right.
Right.
Because he is, I
Yeah.
think, which we'll get into next week when we go to Locktown, but they introduced the bounty system, right? And based on Arlong's bounty at this point, it is the highest in the East Blue. So he is king of the East Blue. And it goes to show what type of character he is, because he doesn't want to struggle. He doesn't want to. He was the runt of the litter in regards to the fishermen pirates that he came from. And he's like, hey, we're probably the weakest amongst us, but let's go to the weakest ocean that we know of. And
We
literally
can terrorize
lay
some
claim.
humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they did. They really showcased, because I know we saw some superhuman elements in the previous arc with Mihawk, but this is the first time we're really seeing a character. Like, I think it's Arlong. Doesn't he lift up like a house or something?
Yes, Arlong.
Yeah.
he flipped the house. Yeah, I'm pretty
He
sure.
flipped it to show Goza, like, guys, I mean business. Y'all are under my subjugation, but I'm gonna be fair. All you gotta pay is some ludicrous amount of money. What, every month or something?
Yeah, monthly tribute. Yeah.
Monthly tribute per child, per spouse, whatever. And I mean, most of the characters could afford it, but there was obviously an important character that could not, and that was our good friend Belmare. Right? Is it Belmare?
Belmare.
Belmare.
Okay.
That works.
Belmare. But going before that, what was it? So Nami is someone at this point in the story, right? Talking about young Nami. What is it? She her family can never afford anything, so she can't enjoy the luxuries that she wants to take part in.
Mhm.
And what is it? She steal on
She
occasion?
steals. I think she stole food.
Right.
And Belmare punished her for it. All right. I think that's what happened. And
Yeah.
trying to.
And then she threw a fit because she didn't want to have hand-me-downs. She, and Belmare, she's like, I want to, eat food. I want to eat good food, and it's just also how the scene is coming together. Oda has this way of just when things look, just when things are something is getting resolved, there's a bunch more things that are happening. So just as Belmare was like, yeah, I'll make all the food, and Nami's come down with Blue Nami.
Nojiko.
No,
Yeah.
Blue Nami. Come on, put respect on
It's-
Nojiko's name.
All right, Blue Nami. So then that's when Arlong comes, and they're staying hidden. But this is the first time where I was on the surface, I'm just damn, this lady is dumb, because she could have lied, and she could have, what do you call it? And she could have gotten, to live her life.
Oh yeah, it was a very
Wait.
prideful moment.
Wait, Belmare?
Belmare.
Yes.
Because
they lied for her.
Yeah.
The village people lied for her. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yes, no. But
Right.
I'm saying all she had to do was lie
Right.
and keep the two kids alive, and you know what I mean. But then she was just I'm not gonna, deny that I'm their mother. And then Arlong was like, I respect you, but you're gonna die. Like, and
Well,
then she dies.
she also didn't she smack him with the gun too
She did.
and put the
In the
gun in
four
his
kids, it
mouth?
was a shovel.
What? Fine, let it be a shovel.
Oh no. Okay, wait. So in the original, right? She like smacks him with the gun, has a gun pointed inside of his mouth, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna blow your head off if you come anywhere near my kids, whatever." But in the four kids dub, it was a shovel. So she's holding it like a gun, the shovel in his mouth. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, it's hilarious in retrospect. Yes, I didn't even remember it was a shovel, but
Yep.
That's really-
I think that's
mouth.
going back to that conversation. I think this was like one of the first really big moments where Oda is trying to tell us that there are things in this world that are worth dying for, and also how it plays out is that even if you die, your dream, your wishes aren't dead; they just get carried on. This was like one of the first big moments, because I even till today I'm like, damn, like when I first saw it, I was really impacted by it, just because part of me was just like, this dumb idiot like dies just so that she doesn't have to like denounce her children when she could have just easily lied. But to them it was more important, their belief was more important than it transcended life. And I think that's what's most important. That's, I think, like pops up like time and time again. And even now that I'm talking about it so highly, because it stuck with me. It made me think. It followed me after I watched it. It made me think about it. And then to have Luffy come in like years later and resolve it and be like, your faith, your work has all been rewarded because you believed in somebody to help. There's the right somebody to help.
yeah, I think Belmare's sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Eh.
Completely avoidable, but yeah.
It very much. It was all about also too just standing up to the powers that would be,
Right.
and not compromising your character and who you are, and stand up for what you believe in. Because what is Bell? I don't to denounce your children even in that face of immediate danger and whatnot. I think it's her standing her ground would have a profound effect on who Nami and Nojiko grow to be, more than her lying or however what could have happened if she were alive. But she paid the ultimate price. I mean, Arlong was not going to back down. And I mean, fishermen can be beaten, but to the normal human, they are physically superior. So that was,
they lifted up a house.
right. And they had the big moo too.
The big moo.
Oh my God, the moon.
Big moo.
They weren't gonna win.
They were not gonna win.
It's really sad. They weren't gonna win. And then oh man, oh my gosh, talking about four kids.
Good.
Arlong shot her in the original one. It was very gruesome. It was very
shocking. Oh yeah,
shocking.
what happened with this? He pointed at her? No.
Oh yes.
No, that was
I think
no, four kids. He points his finger.
He pointed at her.
He did?
He points yes, not the gun, a finger.
A finger, right.
And he says, "You're gonna spend eternity in the dungeon."
Is that what he said?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, he did. Yes,
and they never see her again.
And they never saw her again.
So she's, if four kids was still going, she's just rotting away in that.
No, she rotted away.
Oh, okay. So threw her in prison, and what? That's like 10 years, I think. So, all right.
10 years of malnutrition and just no tendency.
That can get you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's
they
hilarious.
tried it.
Yeah, and then Nami gets into this agreement with Arlong when we find out, and I like how
Right.
it's presented because remember when they first get there, the town is very secretive. Like they don't like they're a town that's very much scarred by like the last 10 or not even 10, like 14 years, whatever it is, and then you find
Right.
out everything that Nami has been doing just to be what do you call it? Just to keep everything afloat. Um, and it doesn't unravel the way you think it's going to unravel. Like there's always a point. Oda's always like, what if this happens, and then he does it. Like what if you know Nami's money gets mysteriously stolen by the government of all people. um and then Arlong is just like, yep, guess you gotta work for me forever, you're mine.
Right.
And it's just I think that part where like everything is coming together at one point is really interesting. Just how Oda like constructed it in a story. Like he's like, let's find a more interesting way to get these people to fight than just saying, okay, fight for this town's freedom.
I mean, but
Right.
going back to before that too, still in the flashback, Belmir, basically sacrificed herself, not for Nami and not for Nami to go sell her services to the fishmen. And fun and not funny enough, but parallel, she's basically their slave, working for not only her freedom but the town's freedom.
Right.
A lot of the Arlong, a lot of the Sun pirates, and the Fisher Tiger, they were slaves. Interestingly enough, how I'm getting ahead, but knowing their background,
It flipped.
yeah, it flipped. Yes, they flipped it. But remember the townspeople, how they reacted to when Nami came back and said, "Look what he paid me for making maps," and they were devastated at the fact.
How dare you?
Yes.
Like, and I think was it later or at that point she got the tattoo, right?
She
got
did
it when
get
she was a
tattoo.
kid?
She did,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I thought that was a great element
Yeah.
they threw into the story because it's something where, you could argue maybe Nami was at first doing it for the money just because, oh man, this guy basically killed my adoptive mother and he's subjugating my home. But look at the money. I finally got what I wanted. But I think that slowly transitioned into her realizing, hey, if I work for these people, I can buy my home back from them. And so she keeps this mask because you even see it when Nami goes back to the village and oh god, I forgot the guy's name. The pinwheel.
Genzo.
Nami interacts with him and some of the other villagers, and they look at her in disgust. They're like, "Oh man, just get out of here, leave. What are you doing here?" She keeps that mask on because she's like, "Hey, they can think what they think, but 10 years in the making, I'm gonna buy their freedom." And I mean, it's great because then you think back to all the previous times when she was stealing money from anyone, whether it's Luffy, Buggy, Kuro, right? Kuro. All the time she was stealing money, it was for this purpose. This is why she wanted money. Now, obviously, after this arc, it's like, well, I just like money. Like, I just like gold. So I ain't gotta buy that village back anymore. But up until now, it's a very noble cause. I think Oda did such a great job with Nami's backstory.
And it's funny because I think this also sets a precedent in One Piece. I don't want to reveal too much for everyone following with us at home.
Ooh.
But if you were in the One Piece universe and a bad guy makes a deal with you, don't take it. Rather just die on the spot. Don't take it. You're just gonna make things worse. Fight, be authentic, and fight. Because if you make a deal with the bad guy, guess what? They're not gonna honor.
Tatakai.
They're pirates. They're pirates.
They are. I mean, even someone as corrupt as the government, right? you would think like, hey, there's a pirate, you know, because I think before now, the image you got of pirates was either A, they're sailing the ocean, terrorizing whoever, or B, they're in hiding because, you know, their bounties are too high and they don't want to be chased forever. But here you have literal pirates in a public town, like sitting on a throne saying, hey, come on by, get subjugated. Like, they're public about it. So it's like, you ask the question, where's the Navy? Where's the military? Aren't they supposed to be? This guy's public. He's not even
wanted.
Sailing. He has a bounty on his head. What is going on here? He's not sailing the oceans, trying to subjugate other villages. He has thrown himself onto Goza. And it's revealed, you know, through this, I forgot the guy's name, but he's like a mouse.
The mouse guy.
Yes,
yeah,
the mousy guy. Yes,
the mousy, which I thought it was hilarious because, you know, he's a mouse.
He's a rat.
He's a rat. He's a rat.
Oh, he's a rat. Oh.
Ooh, you didn't notice that? You didn't notice that?
No, I didn't.
But you noticed the warlords being animals?
I sure did.
Okay.
Okay.
But you have a character like this who you would think, yeah, notify the military. They're going to help you. The military's in Arlong's pockets. And it just goes to show, and we've been kind of alluding to it as we talk about One Piece more and more and how the military, how Oda's really painting the image of the Navy. But you notice that there are flaws in the Navy. But there are still good people in there, people that are trying to, I guess, promote the image.
Have we seen anyone so far?
Kobe.
Has been Kobe's not in the Navy right now.
Oh, okay. As
Kobe
far as
left off.
if you're talking about actual execution of their powers, no, we have not seen anybody.
Everyone that we've seen from the Navy has been either inept or they've been corrupt.
There is the one person who comes to mind.
Garp?
I know shows up in the next. Well, no, see, not Garp. Garp is for a while. He comes in the next arc. It'll click for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know exactly who you're talking about. But that's the first time we see somebody. But then at that point, where we're like, I don't want to trust you. I don't care if you say you're a good person. I don't care what Oda throws at me. At this point, we know because of everything, and then especially because of Arlong Park, where he's basically sending money to the Navy to leave him alone. We're like, we don't like the Navy.
Right.
We
don't like the Navy. We don't like the pirates. There's no winning in this world right now, because either you get subjugated by pirates, or you get screwed over by the military in one way or another.
Literally, that's what happens with Nami. What happens? She gets screwed over. Arlong.
He tells her
because she's almost close.
She's about to be close,
it.
Right?
I think she says she needs one more voyage because she goes on multiple voyages to accumulate the money. She's like, I need to do one more voyage, and I should have I think it's 100 million berries.
Yes, 100 million berries.
100 million. And what were we saying?
Well, he's like, I need my maps. And so he.
And it's funny how, I guess we'll talk about this more later on, but it's just funny how Arlong figures a way out of his agreement, because he's just like, oh, he finds somebody to steal the money for him and still get a cut, and then still keep the person in indentured servitude and be like, whoops, you didn't do it. To him, it's killing two birds with one stone. It keeps the Navy off his back, and it keeps the person, that's valuable to him, without forcing them, physically forcing them, to do that, to be there, chaining them up.
He's not an honorable guy, and he's trying to get out of being an honorable guy and holding up his end of the bargain. So he's like, if I actually can't hold up my end of the bargain, or if you can't hold up your end, therefore I don't have to hold up my end. He's just a sleazeball. And I think that adds to his villainy. I like Arlong a lot as a villain.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he just wants to be on top.
Because I know he is not a trustworthy person, but kind of like how that element of the story was spun, in the back of my mind, it makes me think, well, if Arlong didn't play both sides and, trying to get Nami to not uphold her end of the deal, it makes you think, assuming he didn't do that, Arlong would have kept his end of the bargain. Because, throwing away all these theatrics, Arlong could have just told Nami, no, I'm moving it to 150. I take it back. No, 200. You know what? Screw it. Just, I'm not letting you go, Nami. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
But he found a way. He found a loophole.
He found a loophole.
You know what I mean?
Right.
In a way that he could save face while still. Like I said, he killed two birds with one stone. Got the Navy off his back and found a way to keep his map maker. And I don't know. I feel like we talked about so much about like the backstory. Do we want to talk about the fights?
Well,
Arlong Park right now.
We can. It's literally.
I was just talking about it. A lot of what makes this arc great is the backstory of Nami, because once we get to here where we're talking about the fights, I mean, as you said too, Nino, this is what makes the villagers finally rise up. And just going back to the whole, Arlong, and and also remember, and that's so good too, Nami is doing this by herself. She does not accept help from nobody.
But what's the twist?
Did she finally ask for help?
No, the village knew. They knew what she was doing.
Right.
They just kept this facade going because they knew it was very important to Nami. And they're like, let's keep this face that we don't like her, but deep down we actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the villagers, I think the thing was, if the villagers knew and acted like they knew, then Arlong might change the deal.
Right.
Right. And they were like, we have to save face. We have to make it seem like we don't like Nami so that she can succeed. And then we can celebrate once they're gone.
Exactly. And you have the build up to, we keep alluding to it, Arlong. Well, actually, no, it's funny because before that, do we want to talk about because before the build up to that fight, Zoro, Luffy, everyone, Usopp, they get to this village and their goal is to bring back Nami. Nami does not want to come back. She is telling them, I am part of the Arlong Pirates. I played you guys for fools, and just leave, please. And I think it's Usopp, right? Usopp's the one that
yeah, I think we got that right. Yeah,
right. He's the one that confronts her on it, and this is where Glorious Four Kids, right? we get the change. What was it with Four Kids? It was
Usopp. Hand me your rubber knife. As long as you give me or do the rubber one, don't actually hurt me, Nami. All right, I got it.
And what? She pretends to stab him in front of Arlong?
It's a rubber knife, so yes, she stabs him. He falls in the water. I think he
with
says
ketchup. There's ketchup in there.
Well, I think he says, good thing I always have ketchup on me.
God.
Which I'm starting to think maybe that was supposed to be hot sauce, and that's a black thing they're alluding at. But whatever.
It's funny because I feel like it's something that would fit Usopp's character. I really think Usopp would have a rubber knife just somewhere on him, somewhere in his utility. It's Usopp. Come on.
Yes,
it's Usopp.
He has a rubber. He has a 5-ton mallet.
He has a 5-ton
Or is it a
mallet?
10-ton mallet?
No, I think that's right. A 10. It's a mallet that it's not real. Yes.
Where did you get that? Where did you get that?
Where did you get the strength to carry that?
And and the ketchup. I think Usopp has in his kit of ammunition for slingshots, there's ketchup packets in there.
But in the original, she stabs her hand, right?
Right. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
She does.
She stabs.
And then she it's a thing because it keeps she wraps it up and she keeps holding back. She's like, they're alluding that something is not right. I swear, when I watched that episode, when I was watching that episode, and when I was reading the chapter, I was like, oh my God, Nami really stabbed somebody out here. But it's all just part of the trickery until we get to that point where all the things come down, you know, I think what Oda does good as a writer is that he exhausts every possible out, you know, before it must come to people fighting like for themselves and for what they believe in and for their freedom. It all just comes down, like it all comes crashing down, like, you know, like even with Zoro beating up like the entire Arlong Park crew besides like the main few.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, you know, he puts it in a place where all the tricks are done. Nami's at the end of her rope, and basically the Straw Hats are just waiting for their captain's what do you call it? What did he say?
Ikuzo.
No, he goes, of course I will.
Oh, again, the beautiful scene. She's telling them to go away.
Oh,
she's telling them,
okay.
She's like, I don't need you, you know, like this is not your fight. And then she finally turns around and, Luffy, help me, please. But before he does he puts the hat on his most
First time.
Nami Luffy confirmed endgame.
Don't you dare stop.
No.
This is where it started.
No.
This is where it started.
I mean, maybe, who knows, but boom, puts it on, and go ahead, do it again.
Me?
Of course I will.
Right.
It was great.
It was epic. It was, and that's I want to say that's the first time maybe we've heard that song, which is called Overtaken.
Ooh, I need to watch the anime part of this. It's a theme that usually plays.
Yeah, they
right?
play it. They play it all the time. I want
Okay.
to say this is the first time. If it is not the
Okay.
first time, it is the most epic time in early One Piece
Easily.
like history. You know, bum bum bum
Bum,
bum,
bum, bum,
bum,
bum.
bum.
Okay, yeah.
bum 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 bum. So and then yeah, the whole
So appropriate.
ikuzo, and they're like, hoi. Or,
They all
Like,
got
they
the
all-
pose. They all got the.
yeah, they're all doing the pose, and when Luffy walks by, they all get up and go. And then like the villagers, they make it back. They make it to Arlong Park before they do, and Johnny and Yusaku are there, and they're like, y'all not going in
They
there.
stopped
Y'all,
them.
they stop them. They stop
Mhm.
them, and they're like, y'all can't win this fight. But those guys, they're on their way. And, or they say something like, if we know them, they're on their way to help Big
That's
Sis Nami.
just Oda being like, time to really keep stroking these characters for you know, let's keep milking it. Let's keep stroking and milking, you know, the strength of these characters so their epicness can't be denied when they do it, you know.
Mhm.
And then we get these really great fights when they get there. The first question I thought was like, how is Usopp gonna fight?
Yo, don't
That
do
was
Usopp
everyone's
like that.
question.
I mean,
That was everyone's question.
it wasn't everyone's question.
Yes, it was. Don't you
and-
dare.
Until they focused in on Usopp, because he was serious that whole walk to Arlong Park.
Look at his pose. He's ready.
And then I don't remember, but there is a point where he just starts doing the Usopp thing. You know,
Running away.
right? And that's when you realize,
But he wins.
How's Usopp gonna fight?
But he wins. But I think this is like really, like, you can tell that Oda was really trying to like think of different ways. Like, I think he had the most fun with Sanji and Usopp because, you know, Sanji had his kicking, right? That's a very interesting fighting style. Usopp has to find another way to win a guy that's chasing him throughout the island. And then when you look at the other fights like Zoro and Hachi, the best thing that Oda could do in the Zoro fight after like the great Mihawk fight that happened last arc was like, oh, you want to see what's better than 3 swords? 8 swords.
8 sword
Well,
style.
6 swords, because he has 3 arms. his other 8 limbs are for walking.
Does he?
Yeah, it's only 6. I should
Oh,
have
so
put
it's six
6.
sword. It's six sword style then.
It's 6 swords because
Oh, 6.
Actually, no,
it's
it makes
6,
sense.
they-
Yeah, because it's double. I remember they were
Yes.
emphasizing, oh, it's double the swords that you have.
yes,
And you,
yes,
and, but
yes.
you know, and as much as that fight was okay, like I feel like that was the weakest fight among all of what do you call it? All of the fights, because all the other fights are just very like specific, very very interesting to watch, very interesting to read. And then Aoda was just kind of like, what's better than 3, 6? Yes.
Well,
you
Well,
heard it
I
here
mean,
first.
I think the interesting element was Zoro. I still think the other fights were more interesting than Zoro's, but I think Zoro still had an element to him because he's still recovering
Yes,
from
that yes.
the
yeah.
Mihawk fight. And I think it was when they were sailing on their way to Goza. I don't remember if it was the bounty hunters, Yosaku, or someone said it where it's like, how is Zoro recovering? And they said something like, yeah, he's not gonna fully recover for like a couple years. Like it was something where I'm like, how's this gonna work? How's he gonna fight? How is he gonna fight?
And then Arlong, when Zoro has to face Arlong when Luffy's trapped in the ocean, and like Arlong just like holds him and like rips his bandages off, and it's like,
Oh,
again,
how have you been standing?
that's
Right.
that's something that Oda will continue doing throughout the series, just to prove how badass Zoro is.
That's
We'll be
your
like-
will conversation too, though. Like
It's
willpower.
very true.
It is.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because I don't know, it's something about seeing a villain like Arlong, someone who's been in control this entire arc and he's always laughing maniacally and he's so evil. I like seeing scenes like this where he's just so shocked at what he's seeing. He sees Zoro's wounds and he's like, holy shit, how is this guy fighting this whole time? And it's a genuine look of shock. He's not like, saying, so weak, look at your wounds. He doesn't do that. He's like, wow, you're possessed. You're possessed. I'll give you that. But one thing I want to say, dialing it back before even the fight started, I loved the Luffy entrance into this whole thing. Right? Because
What, he kicks down the door?
he kicks down the door. His first question, which one is Arlong?
Mm-hmm.
That's all he asks. He just says, which one is on? There's no goofiness like, gum pistol. Like, he doesn't do anything weird. Which one's Arlong? And then Arlong, I think he says, I'm over here. What do you want? And Luffy's just walking, not responding. Boom, sends him flying.
Oh, I forgot that happened. Yeah.
Iconic. That was
very
easily,
iconic. Yeah.
up until this point, that was the most iconic, to me at least, the most iconic scene in One Piece so far.
Up until that point,
up until
I
this
think we
point.
get a more iconic scene in the same fight at the end.
Yes.
There,
We do.
that's definitely
That was just a great entrance. I just love that entrance.
No,
I love
definitely
it.
a great entrance, but also just it's a really good setup of how they make Luffy wait to fight Arlong. Like you said, he gets stuck in the cement, like he stamps
Right.
his feet too hard. And what does
Yep.
Arlong just flip him into the ocean after that?
He's like, yeah, why
Yep.
are you being silly? This is silly. You're
and
being
the,
Right.
to drag his head from underneath the water.
And they're pumping
give
him
him
the
air.
water. But also, okay, go back and watch that whole rescue Luffy operation. Sanji and Nojiko or whoever else is down there, Genzo,
Genzo.
they are holding their breath for a very
Yes.
long time.
I've
and-
asked this. Yep.
Insurmountable amount of time.
And they're giving air to Luffy at some point, right?
they're giving
Yes,
him
they
air up
are.
above.
I
They
think
stretch
so.
His head.
Well, because before they were like, how do we get him out of the water? It's not working.
And he's like, he's
gonna
rubber.
drown. Oh yeah, and then they drag his head up above the water.
Right. Which and on top of that too, Kurobi, the fishman, Sanji's
The
versus-
stingray.
Yes. Is he a sting? Oh wow, he is a stingray.
Did you just now notice that?
I
He
sure
was a
did. I
stingray?
sure did. Right. He's clocking the shit out of Sanji.
Oh, he's
underwater.
whooping him. Right.
Yeah. Right.
And actually, that's a cool element that they bring up about fishermen in water. Their abilities are enhanced. That's cool.
But they also bring up that fishermen suffer the same kind of shortcomings of fish. I think Sanji blew air into the gills.
He blew air directly into the gills underwater.
That adds to Sanji's craftiness. Like he's more than just like a fighter. He's crafty. He's smart when they need it to be, you know?
Right. No, he is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, get him above water though.
Get him
above these feet.
I remember both watching this and reading it, because we had to wait a month in between Shonen Jumps to see what's gonna happen next. So it was a pain to have this amazing intro with Luffy clocking the crap out of Arlong, and then he immobilizes himself. And so now for the next, I don't know, 5 chapters we gotta free Luffy. We can't fight Arlong.
You know, this is a pattern that will follow One Piece to even to Wano, basically. Because I can think of a very big fight that just happened where it's like Luffy made an amazing entrance, immediately gets taken out of the fight, and then what do you call it? People have to be like, we gotta save Luffy. It's such an interesting pattern that Oda has kept making fresh, because it's kind of like it keeps the fights interesting. Here it keeps the fights interesting. I felt like actually here it was a little annoying because of how it happened. I was like, just get him above water. Just do it. Why can't you do it? Yeah, I want to see Luffy kick the shit out of Arlong. That's what I want.
And that's kind of what we got. We got a 1v1 with Arlong versus Luffy. How'd you guys think of the fight? Because it's one of those things where I think Luffy fought Kuro, and I think I'm just thinking of people with like sharp objects, I guess, like part of their kit. But this is the first time. This is someone where, at least I think even Luffy acknowledged it too. If Luffy messes up, he could lose an arm, he could lose a leg, he could lose a piece of him. Because Arlong is what is he exactly? He's a
sawtooth shark. Sawtooth shark.
Yeah. And he had like that spinning move that he like.
How does that work? I don't know how that works.
Listen.
So
have you seen an alligator do their like spin?
The death roll, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I think that's
are you talking about a shark dart?
Shark
where he like launches himself at
No,
Luffy?
yes. Not. Well, that's the one Nino's talking about. I was thinking of the one where he's like actually spinning, like
spinning.
Yeah. But I guess kind of like, I guess if you just roll really fast.
Oh, you're talking about with the sword? Where he's rolling with the sword?
No. There's a move that he does. You know,
the bite. He bites Luffy.
Remember at the very end of the fight, there's that thing where he's spinning towards Luffy because he's about to bite that spinning thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotcha. And he does it a couple times during the fight, and then Luffy's like, I gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he also takes out his teeth and puts them on his fist too.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That was actually really funny because it was like wasn't there like a silly gimmick where like Luffy got a hold of the teeth too?
Yeah.
No, he put it in his mouth.
He put it in his mouth. Yes.
And Arlong made it a point. He was like, because I think Luffy was able to bite Arlong and draw blood, but it didn't hurt him. And he's like, my man, it's not the teeth that hurt. It's the jaw strength behind it. And then bam, I think he bit Luffy. I think he bit him.
He did.
Yeah, I think he got a bite in. Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
And he bites him a couple times. Yeah. And then the fight escalates to that tower, Arlong's tower, where he has, literally all of Nami's work for the past years.
Nami's map room,
and
yeah.
everything that Arlong has worked for.
Even
And
some
I
of the
think
pens
there's a
have
great
blood on
moment
it.
where, yeah, and what do you call it? I think some of the best part is that Luffy realizes where they're at, and he's just like, "I'm gonna take this all down with you. You're not gonna have anything. I'm gonna do not like." Luffy really is that person. He's like, "I'm not just gonna beat you. I'm gonna destroy your dream," which is kind of worse than killing people if you think about it.
Did we talk about that before? How it's like when they beat the villains, they just kind of,
We definitely did.
or
Yeah.
and also too, it was like you can have another shot at your dream, but maybe if you do something.
But you need to change. You need to
yeah,
either drastically change, or if not, Luffy's just gonna do it again.
right. Because here we have Gum Gum Axe was the definitive blow.
Have we been talking about definitive blows
Mm,
with arcs? Like,
Whoa!
we said bazooka
We don't
last
need
time.
to get there yet.
no,
But this one was
no,
like
from
I think the
previous
first
ones.
one. I think this one was like the first one that was like really left an impact. Like everyone remembers. No one cares about the final blow to Don Krieg. No, like
Gum gavel, don't you dare.
Gavel,
was,
right? Because he
but you know what
slammed
I
him
mean?
down, right?
Right.
It wasn't as impressive as this. This was
Gum Bell?
No, Gum Gum Bell's
I'm
weak.
talking about the acts. This is like bringing down not only Arlong, but also like there were so many things going on here because Luffy was bringing down everything that Nami worked for, that Arlong profited of. He was taking it down with one move. He was taking down Arlong, and not only that, he knew that he was going to get bit by Arlong and possibly rip the shreds. And he's like, I do not care. This is coming down now in this last move. And I think that's why people remember this as like a definitive last move more than any of the other arcs. This was like a 2-page spread, wasn't it?
In
the manga?
It was a 2-page spread. It was beautiful. You saw you saw the foot shoot up into the sky. Arlong gets a chunk. Bam, 2-page spread once he brings the foot down. It was great. It's blows like this, reading One Piece early on. I thought Luffy was killing these people. I thought once that building collapsed on Arlong, I thought he was dead. Any other story, it would be something where our main protagonist just killed the villain. And I mean, let's be honest, Arlong is a terrible person, so I would not be surprised if they took it to that extreme. They're like, hey, you're just going to terrorize these people if we let you go. Bam. Killed him. And even the state he left them in. I think his nose was broken.
His nose is broken. Yep.
Eyes rolled into the back of his head. He's dead. He's dead.
I mean, they don't look like they're in a great state.
They're not. They are not.
They don't look like they're breathing. Definitely.
They don't. I don't even think the anime goes out of their way to show that they're breathing. But we know Luffy doesn't kill people. He doesn't like killing. Because I think he says killing the person's like killing their dream. He'll set you back to zero. He'll literally
kill your dream and be like, my dream's more important, and let you live with that reality. But he won't kill you. Like,
he will not kill you. He will not. Very great scene. We already talked about Usopp, right? Usopp and his fight a little bit. We kind of touched on
barely.
It.
I think worth mentioning. When he gets the upper hand on Shu, because he sets him on fire, which is they showed that in 4 Kids. That was not edited out. They set him on fire.
What set him on fire though in 4 Kids?
He threw. I think
in 4 Kids.
And it was just he let him on fire. There was no alcohol involved. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But start smashing with the hammer. If you go back and watch that, you hear him do the whole Usopp rubber band of death. He's like,
okay,
Usopp hammer, rubber band, Usopp hammer.
He does it in the manga. That was funny. Because I think Shu was still awake because he hit him with the fire star.
he woke back up, right?
He was getting back up. Usopp hammer. That was good. Concussions, you gotta love them. And yeah, of course, Sanji took care of Hachi. I'm sorry, not
Kurobi.
Hachi. Kurobi.
Sends him
Yeah.
through the other wall. Yeah.
Right. And Zoro takes care of Hachi.
Dragon Twister.
Dragon Twister. That's right.
Yep.
And Mumu, I think, Luffy got
Mumu,
imprisoned. He got Mumu. That's what it was. I think, wasn't Mumu showcased earlier in the arc?
Yes, him, Sanji, and Yusaku ran into Mumu, and Luffy punched him so hard.
He went crying.
Yeah, he started to cry, and then they made him drag. They like tied him up and made him drag them to the village.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
funny because Luffy was like, "I'm gonna eat you," and then he was like, "No."
Yes, they both wanted to eat him.
That's
Sanji wanted to cook
right.
him. Right.
That's right. That's hilarious. We get the culmination of all these fights. Everyone wins. Everyone's happy. And we are finally at the end of the arc, right? Arlong Park is no more. I'm trying to remember, how was the rat guy taken care of? The Navy guy?
I want to say they just.
think he
beat
was.
him up.
I know he
think
was
got
beaten. Right? I thought like someone like Nami beat the crap out of him, or
Someone punched the crap out of him to the point where he's the one who was like, he reported the Straw Hats in, and I remember him doing it all beat up. I think he got on the transponder snail.
You're
It was
right.
like,
Yeah.
hey, there's this guy, Monkey D. Luffy, Straw Hat Luffy.
That's the
Yeah, put a bounty on him. He just beat Arlong, and apparently he beat Don Krieg and all these other people too.
That's right. He did. And did we get the bounty in this arc or in the next one? I think
we got the bounty at the end of this arc.
Did we? Interesting. I mean, we could talk about it now and talk about it next week too.
Let's talk about it next week because like next week I feel like it has more importance.
It
'Cause
does.
Then the bounty pictures come out.
Yes.
Right.
You know, Usopp is like, "That's me."
That's right. He's in the background.
Yes.
That's perfect.
But
Right.
But and then Nami does end up joining the crew.
She does.
You know, after I don't know how this is how I knew this One Piece was a fantastical world. She stabbed her tattoo, and then not only did it heal, but then they gave her a new covering for the tattoo in one day.
That thing
Leave
had to
it
have been,
alone.
that had to have been disfigured. There's no
It's
way.
on the other arm.
What? No.
it was not.
No. The whole purpose was that they repurposed the Arlong tattoo into a
Yes, I know.
tangerine.
I'm just trying to give logic to where there is none.
There is none. Absolutely zero.
Right.
But it's whatever. It still looks clean. It's a neat tattoo Nami has now. It's a tangerine grove. Which by the way, tangerines. We didn't even touch on tangerines.
Well, tangerines. Go ahead.
Tangerines. What was it? Belmare had a tangerine grove.
Yes.
You know, raising
Mhm.
Nami and them. And
Weren't all the tangerines disgusting?
they were disgusting.
They weren't
Were
disgusting.
they?
I don't think they were.
Or were they? Or was Nami just tired of eating them so much? 'Cause
I
no
think she
one
was
would buy them.
tired. I think she was tired.
Yeah, she was not appreciative.
Right. She
Right.
she wanted other stuff.
We don't have
but
money, but we have tangerines.
Eat up. And I mean, it's funny because Nami, she permanently joins the crew. She takes two trees, right?
Yeah,
Two-
something like
Mhm.
and that's like that's an integral part of the merry-go. Yeah.
Right. It's always there. It's always visible. Up until but but let's not go there. But yeah, integral part of the merry-go. Sanji permanently joins the crew because she realizes, hey, these pirates ain't so bad. They're my best friends. And it was a sweet send-off. I liked it. I like how as they're sailing off, Nami's kind of like still on land a little bit, and she's like, I don't do send-offs, and she like just runs past everyone.
Oh, and she steals all their money.
Just something to remember her by.
Right. Wow. That was good.
I loved it. I
It was
loved
good.
it from beginning to end. I mean, I really feel that like there's no flaws with Arlong Park. Like I've read that arc so many times, like easily 10 times at least, and that's like through through the course of many years of just rereading One Piece. The arc, it's timeless in my opinion. This is easily for me the best arc Oda had done up until this point. There are better arcs to come after this, but for East Blue, the final send off on East Blue before the actual send off in the next arc of East Blue, this was perfect. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It was honestly great. A great ride and a lot of promise of what was to come in the later One Piece.
Yeah, definitely a good send off for East Blue. Actually, yeah, it really did feel like a closing chapter for all of East Blue. So yeah, we got our main players. We got the five,
The
and,
originals.
Yeah, we got the OG Straw Hats, and we got a bounty. And next stop is like the last town before the Grand Line. So yeah, East Arlong Park, and also opened up more lore, deeper themes going on here versus just good and evil again. So yeah, definitely leaves you excited for what's more to come in this world of One Piece for sure.
Totally agree. What next arc? We have Logtown, which
I
is
thought it was Loketown. I always
it's
pronounced it
different.
Loketown.
I've always called it Rogue Town because
Yeah,
that's how the Viz translation has it as. But I've heard Logtown, I've heard Logetown, Rogue
funny
Town.
enough, if you look this up, R and L sounds in Japanese are very similar, and that is why this translation, for example, I mean, real quick,
Zolo.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Rock Lee, they usually say Lee versus Lee, or
You're right.
Sourda was almost Salada when it was translated originally, and then they said this is stupid to say Salada. But I digress. Either way, that is next. Rogue Town, Log Town, whatever you want to call it, Log Town. It is the last stop before they enter the Grand Line.
The grand journey that we've been building up to. And it's funny because, the Grand Line up until this point has been, the pie in the sky this whole time. Like, that's where One Piece is. That's where the story's going to end. However it's going to end in the Grand Line. And it's just funny to see we're nowhere close to the end all these chapters later. But Logtown and the Grand Line is just around the corner. Any final says on Arlong Park? How would you guys rank this among East Blue so far?
Probably the best. Not my favorite, but the best.
The best? Okay.
Yeah, for East Blue, definitely the best.
Right. Nino, which one's your favorite? Is it Syrup Village?
No, my favorite is actually, and I think there's a lot of nostalgia, but it's probably the next arc with Loketown.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I just have I those episodes I remember beat for beat 4Kids airing for some reason. And it left such an impact on me, and then I kept watching and I was very disappointed with how the rest of the story was edited and translated. So
that's fair enough. Yeah. There's big things that happen next arc. So next week we just wrapped up Arlong. We'll be covering Logtown, Rogue Town, however you want to call it, along with the entry into the Grand Line, and I think the is it called Whiskey Peak? Right?
Whiskey Peak, yeah.
Whiskey Peak.
Oh! So we're covering with the whale.
Covering with the whale.
Laboon.
Right. Gonna bundle those two together. Entry into the Grand Line and all the goodness that came with it. But I would say that wraps up our thoughts here for Arlong Park for the Yonkō Table. One Piece Chronicles continues next week. We're going to be covering Logtown and Whiskey Peak. And let us know what you guys thought of Arlong Park. What did you guys think how it compared to the previous East Blue arcs? How does it rank amongst, Barity? What are some of the other ones? Syrup Village, Captain Morgan.
Orangetown.
Orangetown. That's what it was. Orangetown. Let us know what you think. What are some of your favorite moments? And did this hook you onto One Piece? Is this the arc you recommend to people to at least read up to? Or is there an earlier arc that you say, well, get up to here? Maybe you'll be a fan at this point. Let us know your thoughts wherever you're listening to us on. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at the Yonkō Table. Give us a like, give us a shout out, and let us know what you think. But with that, everyone, I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, and Supernova Nino Desplazado signing off, everyone, and take care.